Okay guys, so welcome back again. So in this video, let's see that how do we implement server-side pagination inside our Node.js application. So here what I've done is that I have created a very basic Express application, as we can see here. So if we go to the app.js file, then we simply have an Express server, and I've created this user model which contains a user schema with a UID, the first name, last name, and some other fields. And then we have this API route.js file, and we have a single route here. That is a working route, that is a get route, that goes to /API/users. And we are inside this API route.js file, and if we make a get request to this route here, that is /users, then we are simply sending back all the users that are stored inside our database. So let's use this REST client here, and this is an extension on VS Code, that is a REST client. So it is very simple to use to make API request to your application. So if we make a request to this route here, that is localhost port 3000 /API/users. So if we make a request here, then we see that we are getting back all the user records that are saved inside our database. And if there are 1000 records saved inside your database, then you would be getting 1000 records back. But that is the whole purpose of making this application or this tutorial, that is how do we restrict the number of records that are sent back to the client. So currently we see that we have this UID1, which means this is the first record. And if we scroll down at the very bottom of this response here, we see that the last UID is 99, which means that we have about 100 records here or 99 records here. So let's see that how do we implement server-side pagination, so that let me close this window here, so that if we make a request like this, that is /API/users with page equal to 1 and size equal to 2, then we should be getting the first page, and the number of records in that page should be 2 only, and not 99 or 100 records. So that is the whole idea of the server-side pagination. And then again we would be looking at that how do we skip this size parameter to handle the default size of our application, that is the number of records sent back from the server, so that we can implement a route like this, that is /users, and the query parameter here is page equal to 1, or this page can be equal to anything. And then here we have another example. So let's go back to our app.js file or this API route.js file. And here we need to implement this thing here inside this route here, that is /users, so that we can handle all the query parameters inside this route itself. We do not have to create any separate route for pagination. So firstly, what we are going to do, that is if someone simply makes a get request to /users and he doesn't provide any query parameters like the page number and the size of that page, then he should be served with the first page and the default size, which can be any. And in this example, I am making the default size to be 10, though it can be any size, whatever you want. So what it means that /users would be typically equivalent to /user with page equal to 1 and size equal to 10. And secondly, we have this thing here, that is a get request to /users, page equal to 3 and size equal to 20, which means that we should be returned with page number 3 and with a size of 20 documents inside that response. That is, we are going to skip the first 40 records because we are not interested in the first page or the second page, but we are interested in the third page. So we would be skipping the first 2 pages, which each have 20 records each. So that's the whole point of this video. So let's see that how do we do it. So currently we saw that we did this thing here, that is /users, then we are simply sending back all the users. So firstly, what we need to do, we need to parse the query parameters that are coming here in case there are any query parameters. So let me comment this, or let me delete this line from here and let me take it to the top here. So firstly, what we need to do, we need to get the query parameters. So we'll say let page size equal to request.query, like this. And now we'll check if there is a page query parameter. So we'll check if not page. If there is not a page parameter supplied here inside the request.query, then what we'll do, we'll simply make the default value of this page to be equal to 1. And now similarly, we'll check if the size is passed here as a query parameter. So if size, and we'll be checking for if not size, that is if the size is not passed here as a query parameter, then we'll have our default size. So we'll say size equal to 10. That is the default size per page. That is the default number of documents per page which we want to send back to the client. So now here we are using this MongoDB database, but this can be any database of your choice. You can be using MySQL database, or you can be using SQLite or Postgres, but here I am implementing this inside MongoDB. But the logic remains the same with it doesn't depend on the database which we are going to use. You can simply use the skip and limit functionality in any of the databases. So that's what we are going to do here. So firstly, what we want to do, we want to limit the number of documents that we want to return to the user, and the limit comes from this size here. So what we can say, we can simply say const limit equal to %, and here we will provide in the size like this. And why am I parsing it as an integer here? Because whatever query parameters we are getting back here, they are all string values, they are not in number. So either you can use a number here, or you can simply parse in the integer value from the size. And now we need to skip some records. So what we can do, we can simply say const skip equal to page -1, and I'll explain it to you why I am doing this page -1 times the size like this. So now let me explain it to you. So the number of documents which you want to skip, it should be equal to page -1 times the size. So suppose if we are asking for the first page, that is this query parameter coming here as a first page. So this would be 1 - 1 should be equal to 0, and time size would be 10 if no size is specified. So 0 times 10 should be 0. So we do not want to skip any document. And now suppose if the query comes with the page number of 2, then how many documents we want to skip? We want to simply skip the documents that are contained inside page 1. So we are asking for page number 2. So 2 - 1 would be 1, and time size would be, say, let's say 10 here for default. So the number of documents which we want to skip is 10 only for second page. And now if we are on the third page, then this should be 3. So 3 - 1 should be 2, and 2 times size would be 2 times 10. So what we want to skip, we want to skip 20 documents. So this is how it will work. So now the last part is very simple. What we can do, we can simply find the user. So we will say const users equal to await user dot find, and here we need to pass in the query. Secondly, we need to pass in the projection, and lastly we need to pass in the options. So to limit the number of documents, we can simply pass in a limit like this, limit. And to skip the number of documents, we can simply pass in a skip like this. So that's all what you need to do. So, and finally what you need to do, you need to simply send back the response. So you can simply say res.send, and here you can simply say users like this. So now let's save this. So this is one way of doing things, but if you are using Mongoose, then we have another way to get the users using the limit and skip thing here. So we can use a query here. So let me comment this out. So let me show you that way also. So let me comment it out from here, and we'll say const users equal to await user dot find dot limit, and here we can pass in the limit. And then we have the skip thing. So skip, we want to pass in skip here, that is the number of records we want to skip. And then you can attach any other query parameters also, but I'm making it like this only. And finally we can send back the users. So if you are using Mongoose, so either you can use this thing here, that is making a query, or you can use this thing here. Both will result in the same thing. So now one thing more which we want to do here inside this application, and then the application would be almost complete. So firstly, let's see that how it's working right now. So let me open my REST client here, and if we make a GET request to this route here, that is /API/users. So let's see how many records do we get back. So we see that we are getting this first record, and the number of records which we get back is only 10 records, which we have specified in the default thing here, that is the default size. And now suppose if we provide here with a query of size equal to 2, and if we make a request here, then we see that we are getting back only 2 records. And now one thing more which we want to implement here is this, that we do not know that on which page we are getting this records or this response back. So why not, let's attach in a page here and the size of this response here inside this response. So let's open our API route.js file, and it should be here. So let me save it and let me close this. And let me close this also. So now instead of sending back only the users, what we want to have here, we want to make our response a little bit better. So we'll say res.send, and here we'll send back an object which contains the page number, which contains the size, and lastly the data, and the data would be users, like this. So now let's save this, and now let's go to this res.http. And this time our results would look much better. So if we make a request here, we see that we are on page 1, we have a size of 2, and the data of this response is contained inside this array here, like this. So now suppose if we make a request to this route here, that is /users, and the query parameter is 1 and the size is 2, then let's see what we'll get. We'll get page 1 and size is 2. And similarly, if we make a request to this route here, that is we do not provide any size parameter here, but only we want the 5th page here. And if we make a request here, then we see that we are getting page number 5 and size is 10. So we see that we are getting 10 records here, that is from 41 to 50. And if we make a request to page number 2 and size 4, then we'll see that we are on page number 2 and we have a size of 4, and then we are getting the records from 5 up till 8, because here we are skipping the first page. So therefore we are skipping the first 4 records because we asked for 4 here. So guys, this is all about this video, that is the server-side pagination. So if you have liked the video, do hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel. So thank you, bye bye, tata, take care, and have a good day and have a nice day.